Hello, welcome back to Blender Sushi Live Noding. In this episode, I want to show you how I created this. It seems like a child play, so we have once again the similar setups to what I did before, except that in this latest version of Blender 3.0 Alpha, we have instance on points nodes. So these actually change everything. So this one node, you can see it has a lot more options than the normal point instance. This one actually hosting a lot of things happening, so including distribute points on faces now, which has this normal and rotations ways you can like quickly rotate the objects but of the instance. But yeah, this actually have slightly changes. Let me try to explain what's going on. So this instance on points still will do like instance of geometry. In this case, I'm instancing the collections, which is this Squid game logo, circle, square, and triangle. I could just change this into like a normal cube and turn off pick instance. So I have normal cube instance on this cube. And I can randomize the scale by doing this. So I can actually do this a lot faster than before. So this is a vector going into the scale. Alright, so this is actually, this is kind of nice in itself. So let me save as new blend. I'm gonna save it again because I will now work on the collections. So yeah, this cube can still be scaled, changes, we can make changes, and we can actually skip distribute points on face and just distribute like a normal grid of boxes. Okay, so but if we want to scatter points on these objects, we're gonna use collection info, instance the geometry, and for the rotations, for the scale, let's turn it off. We can randomize the scale using the float. And we need to turn on pick instance. Okay, so because if we didn't use pick instance, what's gonna happen is there's a lot of things going on now. With the collection info also, we can reset the children position. So the children is over here. Normally we need to do manual reset, but in this case we can just do it here and then separate children. That's whether your children have like different objects. You can separate the children that way, or just keep it as a single object. And also pick instance will turn on the instance ability to randomize the seed based on instance index. This is quite new in the latest version of Blender 3.0. That means the previous videos might be no longer 100% valid. But this is nice. At least we have a way to instance geometry now without it's so if you want to go deeper and more detailed, you can pick instance. Otherwise you just get the geometry from collections. I think this is what's really going on. And there's a lot of things going on. I think field or noise is here now. Okay, we can pick a noise. There's our attribute capture, attribute statistics, all sort of thing. If I believe it or not, if I start rebuilding this from scratch, even though this is like super basic, you will understand it better. So file, save as, point instance new. So I'll start again with just the default cube and create a geometry nodes. Okay, now when we use point instance on points, and we want to scatter, distribute points on faces. So we are using the default cube. We're gonna scatter some points, so we end up with this. Plug it in, plug it in. So we have nothing at the moment. We can use boxes, another cube. So this is good. Let's save this. And we have this all kind of new things like stable ID, instance index, but that's if you are using instancing. The nice thing about this, of course, you can quickly create random value and then vector, plug this into the rotations or to the scale. Suddenly you have these random boxes. So just few nodes, you get this cool random boxes example. Very, very fast. Pretty easy. You can use pause on these, increase the distance so they're not really touching each other, something like that. And then the rotations you can also randomize using random value like this. So the normal setup that we did before, it's becoming more compact. So now if we are using a torus, for example, we have circle, and then we have four-sided torus, and then we have another torus with just three-sided triangle. So we have the Squid game logo pretty much. Rotate 45 degrees. Let's put this into new collection, call it blah. So now if we are instancing this guy, before I'm doing instancing, first of all, I'm just using the default cube. But the better way is to use another cube. So we can scale, right? The point distribution is still happening. You can skip this altogether, mute it. And now we have just a cube grid. That's actually okay too. Maybe that's the one, that's what you want. Okay, let's unmute this using M. So cube, we can scale, we can control the vertices. All right, that's good. Now if we want collections, we get a collection info. We need to use collection info now. Grab our blah. If we plug this into the instance, so instancing seems to be happening, but in a weird way. Until we use the pick instance. Okay, so that's the different. And then also for the rotations, let's remove these randomizations on the scale. We can control the scaling. We can now use the rotations to rotate these objects to follow the normal of the cube. And we can still use random value. Oh, by the way, it's a good idea to also have this spreadsheet. Take a look at the instance. So we can name this properly: square, circle, triangle. So this example is basically kind of like a summary for some of the previous live noding, because everything changes after we have this instance on points and distribute points on faces. We actually have something, we have also realized instances. This one will turn instance into real objects, so we're able to deform it, I think. So now it's becoming like a single mesh. So if you randomize attribute, okay, randomize attribute seems to be disappear again, so we cannot just randomize attribute as easy unless we capture it and randomizing it differently. Interesting, eh? yeah, something clearly has changed. So we cannot just easily randomize points or things like that. Separate components. Yes, because the nodes changes. Suddenly it's like when you come home and the keys are not working anymore. It's just weird. Now how do we... Okay, points to volume also is no longer there. But anyway, this is, if this become like a single objects, you can then use remesh. If you have remesh here, we don't have. But I think if we use realize instances as and apply here, it's gonna be a simple objects that we can simply displace or remesh. Okay. Okay, cool. If we didn't use realize instances, it's gonna be all like separate objects. If you apply, okay, still the instance disappeared. I think you can use instance real, make instance real, and now it's keeping the objects each with the transform information still there. This might be what you actually want sometimes. Okay, so we learned a new way of working with instance. It's really weird, but well, it keeps changing and still kind of work in progress, I think. Subdivide, and also this also has changed. Mesh subdivide. We can triangulate, but I think they try to make this 3.0 official very soon with the USD and stuff already happening. So this is a new way we can use instance and apply instance using collections. It's a little bit more compact. A lot of things changes for the good, for the better. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to talk about this instance index. So instance, you can put random value of integer, plug this into the instance index. So now we can actually pick if we just want a circle, or we just want a square or triangle. We can control it from here. Or you want to have all three and randomize the seed, you can do it now using instance index. So we have more control over whatever we are instancing. Okay, so there you go. That's the new way of working with instance. Hopefully you find this useful. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.